Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy's JCfinger. This is a live tour of a cute little home that I built for a family that lives here. But Elizabeth is here on her own as a single mom with her son Daniel, and her husband is no longer in the picture, and I'll tell you a little story about that in this tour. So I decided to create this beautiful front part to the house. I've got a nice pine tree in here. We have a fence made with vines, and I was hoping to create some kind of gate, but instead I used these French floral pedestals to earmark that area. And then I have an entrance that I think I was quite happy with the way it turned out, using these snow lodge windows to define, the front entrance here with some florals at the top part as an overhang. And then I created pockets around this little structure here to the left and right of the building, stuffing them in with all these flowers, and I thought it looked really nice and clean and clear. It's a small home. I have the same thing over here, as I said earlier. It's a small home, but you have to remember it's on 2 levels, so there are 4 rooms in this house. Actually no, there are 3. It could easily be 4, and I'll show you how inside, but it's a 3-bedroom house. And I do believe that this house could fit easily on a small plot if you look at it. I mean, I haven't done the measurements, but at a glance it could fit on a small plot. Although you'd have to build it without the conservatory at the back that you see here. So this is why it's on a big plot. She's got a space to hang out clothes. She's a hands-on mom. She works really hard for her son and to keep this house. I would have thought that I should have placed a tree that had a planter base, because the entire floor here is in concrete. Anyway, I'll swap that around later. But I have a number of kids out here. They're all preteens. Daniel is one of the kids in this pool. They are having a lovely party for him because it's his birthday today, and I thought I'd use the opportunity to build a home as well and include these party items that we've won from the kids party event and set it out here, and you're all invited to his party at the end of this tour. Now she has this arrangement on the side here, and the entrance to the kitchen, well, the back entrance to the kitchen is here. She's got a grill, a pizza oven, and some of the plates that she's using to serve the kids out here. So yes, we have this conservatory at the back. It's attached to the living room on the inside, and we'll see that as soon as we get in. But I thought I'd create a conservatory for this house because I don't really build homes with conservatories, and we have a lot of conservatories here in England, so I thought I'd add one. But in order for you to build this on a small plot, you would have to leave out the conservatory. Right, so this is Elizabeth, who was once married to Patrick, who was a police officer, his wonderful husband. It was just a year ago when her husband had woken up in the early hours of a school day, and he decided to pop down to the local convenience store for a carton of milk. Their son Daniel loved having cereal for breakfast, so Dad went out just in time to get some before breakfast. It would only take him a few minutes to get to the store and back before he would then join his family for breakfast, get showered, and report to the police station for work. Daniel, his son, was stirred as he heard the sound of his father's car pull away from the driveway, but that was okay. It was already morning, so there was no need to go back to bed. Elizabeth, his wife, decided to take a bath, and she was hopeful that when she got downstairs, he would walk through the door with a carton of milk with a reasonable story as to why he was late. But Patrick had still not made it back home. Being the hands-on mum that she is, she improvised, made a good breakfast for her son, who was a little bit grumpy about the fact that he didn't have his cereal, but when his mum had served up breakfast, he was more than satisfied. They had toast, bacon and eggs, a couple of sausages on the side, and a good nice hot cup of tea without the milk. In no time after he had had his breakfast, he was all dressed and ready and dashed out to get onto the school bus, and he was gone. Now it dawned on Elizabeth that something was wrong, so she got on the phone and she called the precinct, and they told her that he hadn't turned into work either. This was a problem, so she was asked to come in and make a full statement as to what had happened that morning. When she arrived at the police station, she was met by his partner, who decided to attend to her immediately and took it quite seriously because Patrick was very disciplined and very routine, and it was out of character to have just disappeared into thin air and also not show up at work. So instead of waiting for 24 hours, his partner decided to open a missing persons file and begin the investigation, sending out search parties to look for him. It's almost been a year and Patrick has never been found. So Elizabeth lives here on her own now. She has tried to find a way to make life normal. It's been very difficult trying to convince her son of what's happened, but he's gotten used to the idea and they're hopeful as you could possibly be. This is the entrance to the house. We have a little sort of pocket area before you come out into this long corridor. And so what I've done with that space is place a flower pot on the side and a picture frame as well, just so that the front of the house has some kind of shape. That's why we have that protrusion. Right in front of the entrance is the door that leads to the living room, but on one end of the corridor we have the kitchen and dining area. So the dining room is in this section of this room. It's a very long room, but it was a perfect idea to not separate the spaces, and I thought it would be completely different from some of the houses that I've built in the past. And it's interesting because usually when I put down a floor plan, every room is defined, and then as I go on to put furniture pieces down, I start reconstructing the rooms, and finally I came up with this idea and I was quite happy with it. So I then decided to create a breakfast table area here and use these beautiful yellow bar stools around it, and I think it's lovely. Now I've used the Homestead units here. I love them because you see all these plates in there, and I love that the extractor fan is connected to those units as one piece. And because of the birthday party going on outside, I decided to display all these food items out here, because you have to imagine that you worked hard baking those. Now there's a door that leads out to the back garden, and the fridge here is almost invisible, and I like that. I don't like seeing fridges. I'd rather that they blend in with the furniture. So this is the overview of this kitchen and dining area, two separate spaces all in one, and my choice for flooring is from the Homestead collection. I love that the planks of wood are placed at an angle, and the overall finish is just beautiful when you look at it as one piece. Now you come down the corridor and back to the front entrance, and you have the door that leads into the main living room. I used the 1x2 rugs to create a bigger rug, and this here is not a glitch situation. These pictures go behind anything, so they went behind the fireplace, and I thought it worked out quite nicely, to be honest. So that's a glitch by Sims FreePlay, not me. I like it, and it just made the area around the fireplace around more interesting. And these seats are from the mystery box that I unlocked a little while back. There are some peach ones, and we originally had the green ones from the private island quest, I think it was, or was it a live event? Can't remember. But this is a double height room. I love that it's a double height room. You have to imagine how bright and airy it would be in this space with these beautiful windows, and then up top we have a lovely piece of artwork and the cuckoo clock on the side. I thought it worked nicely in the space. I would have loved to have the bookshelves carry on all the way up to the top floor, but that's just my imagination. So I could have put other pieces of artwork around the walls, but when we go down to that floor, they would be floating in thin air and be some kind of obstruction in a way. So I just thought I'd keep it this way, nice, clean, clear and tidy. Now we have a door to the left and right of the fireplace that leads into the conservatory, and this is where the television is. So you have the fireplace on this side, and on the reverse we have the TV, and this is where her boy would play with his friends, and it's just a much more relaxed space to play and mess around in, and if it got dirty it's easy to wipe the tiled floors as opposed to the white carpet inside the living room. So it's a nice space. She also hangs out here quite a bit, and I thought I'd use florals to decorate this area. And I love that we have that space at the back where we've got plants that she can water. These doors lead out to the back garden, as well as the door that leads out from the kitchen. And it's just a nice conservatory, and I have a reverse mirrored design of layout on this side of the conservatory as well. Of course I could put more things in there, but less is more, and I think that the space is already defined in a nice way already as it is. Now this conservatory should really be covered in windows as opposed to doors, but I chose the doors because no matter how you turn around and around in the space, you see the structure of the conservatory. If I used windows, the walls would just disappear, and I didn't want that. I want to see the conservatory, and these beautiful doors look lovely as well. So only a couple of doors lead out to the back garden, as you can see here, and the rest are all obstructed in some way by the furniture around and about. So that's how I made sure that they just stay in place as windows. Now we've seen the living room and the conservatory attached, as well as the dining and kitchen area. We then have a corridor that leads down to the end of the house here, where we have Daniel's room. Daniel is downstairs. He could easily be upstairs, but I chose to put his room down here simply because not all family rooms are always situated upstairs. So his room is down here, and he has a nice closet space with lots of clothes in there. I'm laughing because the clothes are female, and this is the thing. If you notice, all the wardrobes that we received in the game have female items, the shoes, the bags, and so on. So it's quite funny. But that's his bedroom. And then we have the staircase that leads up to the rest of the living quarters. And then at an angle in the corridor, we have the laundry room and a bathroom, which is also a guest restroom as well. So we have the laundry room here, where Madame is always very busy. I mean, you could only imagine how she's determined to be both parents to him. So she works really hard. So that's where she would wash and tidy up and keep nice dry towels. And then we have the bathroom on the side here, which Daniel tends to use quite a bit, because there is a bathroom upstairs, but there's one here, and it also serves as a guest restroom as well. Now there's a closet space here where you could either call it your boiler room, but in this space I decided to leave a mirror and a little area to hang your coat, you know. I could easily have just left it as the end of the corridor, but I thought I'd do that. And I also wanted to put a door there to lead out to the back garden where the clothes are being hung. So there's so many ideas as to how to work that out. Now when we come upstairs, we come up to another hallway with a door to the left and right, and we have a guest room here. This is where Danielle's aunt stays when she stays over for the week. She helps out Elizabeth quite a bit. You've got a nice row of closet spaces that's covered up nice and tidy so you don't see the clothes in there. I think perhaps that's what we should use for the men's rooms or the boys' rooms, so you don't see what's inside because it's all feminine. And then we have the big bed. Then we have a bathroom across the way here. You know, initially when I built this house, there wasn't a corridor in that space, so it was a bedroom with an ensuite, and then all of a sudden I didn't realize that I'd finished building the house and didn't have a stairwell. And it was so funny because I was about to start recording. It was hilarious. So I had to start all over again in that corner, figuring out how to get the stairs up to this part of the house. Your comments about me not having stairs in this house would have been hilarious. Well, this is what it looks like from the outside. You've got this big window so you can see all the way into the house, and that makes for a great lighting experience in that living room. So this is the door that leads into her master unit where she used to stay with her husband Patrick. Her closet space is what you come into first, and then you have the bedroom here with a nice sitting area on the corner. This glitchy fuzz comes from the extractor fan below. It always happens when you put a fan down below upstairs, you get that glitch effect. But this is their bedroom. It's a big master room, and you have the master bathroom on the side here in their room. That's what Danielle's aunt's room should have looked like. It was a master as well that had an ensuite, but there was no staircase, so I had to fix that completely. Now, of course, there's no door leading out to the top of the conservatory. It's not a balcony, it's a conservatory space, so it's kind of like a roof. But in front here, we have all these flowers that really totally make the space look nice and soft and feminine. And then this balcony, of course, is a beautiful area to stand out on and look down into the living room area, which I love so much. Now, of course, it looks as though we keep on using mezzanine features in all our builds. It's just what it is. You get really excited with a new feature in your build, and then you start using it repeatedly until you get tired of it. Anyway, let's now go over to the birthday party. We're going to get all the kids out of the pool, set them down to eat, and then maybe get Daniel to just play with one of his toys or something like that. So It is interesting that there are different experiences in life that we go through. I mean, Daniel's dad, for instance, is missing. It could be someone's sister, someone's mom, someone's daughter. It happens all the time. And sometimes I try to incorporate these stories into my tours simply because they are actually someone's reality. Life isn't all roses, and even if it is, it has thorns. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll develop the story. Maybe we will find Daniel's dad, who knows. Let me know in the comments below how you want the story to progress. Does he have a second family? Is he a complete infidel? He could very well be leading a double life. Maybe he was murdered by his wife and we don't even know. Maybe she set it up because she asked for the milk to be bought in the early hours. On the other hand, maybe it was his police partner. Maybe it was something to do with his work and someone has gotten even with him, maybe a criminal or something like that. This is Daniel in the corner here with the glasses, and this is one of two of the largest tables that were received from the kids party event. The other one is lilac in color and it's really huge, so I didn't use it in my actual party venue build. I prefer to use it in a setting like this at the back of a house, you know, in the garden. And then I have a separate area over here where the kids who visit can place all the gifts that they had brought in for Daniel. So Daniel has 8 friends actually who visited, so I'm just getting him off so that his 8th friend can sit down and have something to eat. He should have a place to sit at the head of the table or something, but instead I'm going to get him to play with his drone. I think this was the most interesting piece of an item that we received at the end of that event. It's really lovely. The thing is, I would have wanted it in other colors as well. The tables come in lilac and they come in blue. The cakes come in lilac and they come in blue. And then we have a drone that comes in lilac. I would have loved blue as well. And that's the thing. So I'm just following through with the color options that were already given with some of the items anyway. Ever since Daniel's father went missing, he tends to find himself pulling away from social situations and being on his own because he's missing his dad. Well, let me know in the comments how you want the story to progress. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!